we have seen what is Ansible, right? So in Ansible, I mentioned that it is a infrastructure as a code tool, or we call it as a configuration management tool. Okay. Now what Ansible is doing, Ansible is a push-based model where we are having a server, and on that server, that is called the master server, we will run some command or script, and that will make the changes into the remote system. We have also discussed that the Ansible is basically a push-based model, number one. Number two, it is agentless. So why it is called agentless? Because we need not to install any Ansible client or agent on the agent machines. We need to connect with the SSH. And in yesterday's lecture, we have seen that how we can copy the SSH key to the remote system, and we were able to remotely connect from our master server. Third thing, I have mentioned that idempotency. Idempotency is nothing but, whenever Ansible or any configuration management tool, if it is going to do some activity in the sense, for example, to make the changes, and the changes are already there on the machine where we want to make the change. For example, if we want to start a service and service is already in the started state, so then it returns, it will not do anything. It will just simply say the desired state is already achieved. But if it is not there, then it will take the action. So this is called idempotency. Fourth one, color coding I have mentioned. So green means everything is successfully executed on the agent machines, and no state change means if it is, for example, you want to start a service and service is already in the started state, so you will get the output as a green color, right? Same way, yellow means the command get executed, okay, and state is also changed, means it was in the stop state, and with your Ansible command execution or script execution, it is in the start state, right? So yellow. And purple color is for warning, right? And red color for the error. Ansible is YAML based. All the Ansible files will be written in YAML, right? And Ansible is Python based. It needs a Python to execute our YAML file, right? So those things we have discussed in yesterday's lecture. Now let us connect to our machine. So we have installed it on the master machine. So master and worker. Okay, and this is the, we have also discussed that there is a inventory file. Inventory file is nothing but this is the file which is having your host information, means agent information. So yesterday also we have seen how to install Ansible. Now when we were executing our last command, right, in Ansible, right, you have noticed that it was stuck or it was taking too much time. So what was the reason for that? So there are few settings which we need to do on the worker node. See, when we have done this SSH settings, right? So we were connecting, so it was asking for the password. So whenever you are running this script, which is the playbook or the Ansible commands, you don't want that it should ask password again and again. In that case, you need to do some settings. So let me show you. I'm on the worker node 1. Right? And I will go to the sudoers file, vi sudo. Now here, what we need to do, we need to add a entry, something like this, vbox all, no password all. So it means it will give the full permission as a sudo user, plus no password will be asked. I have commented it. The reason, because I'm going with some other method. And when you, if you want this entry into your sudo file, then you need to comment this entry. Otherwise, there will be a conflict or duplicate statement, and it will not execute your commands from the master server. So I did not change this sudo's file. Instead of that, let me just show you let me go to my GitHub repository. I have documented it. Ansible, right? Update sudo, this 2.1. So here, one way is that you put that entry, right? And put this entry and remove this entry. Okay, this is one way, but this is not recommended. So the recommended way, just one second, it's not empty. I'll just make it. Just one more minute. So here you can see one fix is that you can just remove this entry or comment out, or and add this entry. Okay. Or best way is that do not touch vi sudo file and create another sudo file for your vbox user. Okay, that is what I have done. So in this file, which is under etc sudos.d file, right? So uh, sudos.d file, right? So what you can do, you can basically run this command and add this entry into this. So if I run this, I have already added, right? So here you can see I have added this entry vbox all equals to all colon and no password colon all. Right. So this entry will specifically for vbox user, and same thing I have done on the worker node 2, and same for the my DB users, which is Red Hat machine. That is one thing. Another thing is that let me go to that directory, which is cd/etc and Ansible directory. And here you will see file which is ansible.cfg file, right? So basically now what will happen if you want to execute any command or any script, you need to add -- become at the end. So this indicates that you are giving sudo permission. Okay. So the fix which I have done by adding into the sudo file, so that will not ask the password, but we need to say that I'm executing this command, for example, and this command is to be executed as a sudo user, right? So in that case, what you need to do, you need to put one entry which is called -- become at the end, or become equals to yes or true. So then what will happen? So it will run as a become, but writing become all the time, sometimes it is not suggestible. What you can do one thing. Into your configuration file, you just add one entry which is privilege escalation, and here you can say it will be running all the scripts, all the commands will be running as a become user. Method is sudo. Okay, become user is root, and do not ask the password. And also, if you have noticed, yesterday we were getting one warning for Python, right? Which it was saying that Python should be, means in future Ansible version Python interpreter may be changed. So you want to silent that warning. So we will add this entry into our defaults, right? So I have done all these things into my configuration file. So if I open my Ansible.cfg file, right, and here you can see privilege escalation was already there. So I just added these entries, and under default, I have added that silent interpreter Python auto silent, and inventory we have already set in our yesterday's lecture. Right? So this is how we are basically some settings which are required before executing our ad hoc commands or our ad hoc commands or any script file. So I already made those changes. Now we can run the command. So if I say cat and host file, so you can see we are having the web servers and DB servers, right? So in web server, this is my web server. Now here you can see systemctl status Apache 2. Okay, Apache 2 is already installed, right? Same way, if I check here, I'll just log in with the root user. And if I say systemctl status Apache 2, so you can see Apache 2 is solid. So I want to uninstall this. So yesterday I was talking about the modules. So I will say Ansible, right? And I want to run the code on web servers because my web servers are worker 1 and worker 2, right? And I want to use the module, a shell module. Okay, shell is a module which is basically run the command directly on the worker node as a Linux command. Okay, so shell, and then I will say argument. I want to say apt purge and Apache 2. What I want to do, I want to uninstall Apache 2. Purge command is to uninstall the package. So I want to uninstall Apache 2. And do you want to purge? Yes. Right. So now what it will do, it will go to the worker 1 and worker 2, and it will remotely connect and uninstall my Apache 2. So I need not to write become at the end because by default, means in my ansible.cfg file, I have written in the privilege, which is become equals to true, and user will be the sudo user, right? So now this command is executed, right? So you can see this is the output. Now if I come over here and if I check systemctl, now you can see Apache 2 is uninstalled. Now same way, if I come over here, Apache is uninstalled. So one way is that you can directly run the command on the remote system by using shell module. This, with the help of this, what you can do, you can run the command uh, which are basically your Linux command. Directly you are executing it. Right now, this is not a best practice whenever you are executing this command, right? So whenever you are executing the command, this is not the best way. So best way is that you need to use the module which are uh, relevant to that particular task. As an example, there is a module which is called there is a module which is basically APT module. Okay, APT module in Ansible. So this module is basically meant for the uninstallation of the packages. So you can see it manages the packages, and there are so many properties. So these are called arguments or parameters, right? So here, you can see their possible values which you can put, right? And here you can see if you want to install something. So there is a property which is called state. So state indicates the desired package state, latest, that the latest version is installed. Okay. Build dependency ensures that the package dependencies are installed. Fixed attempts to correct a system with broken dependencies, right? So these are some possible values we are having. Now, how to use this? Now, I will go to I will go here, and now what I will see, I will do Ansible. I want to execute on the web server, right? So web servers it is, I think, yeah, web servers. And I want to execute a module, which is the APT module. And I want to install Apache. So arguments are name. Name is the property, which package you want to install or uninstall. I'll say Apache. And package name is Apache 2. And what is the state you want to put? So here you can see there is a present state, which is by default. If you don't mention, it will be the present. Present means install. Right. So now I want to install the package. So that is state equals to present. Right. So now I will say state equals to present. Okay. And like that, you can add multiple parameters also, whatever is in the list, which is suitable for your requirement. So you can do that. So now I'm doing only this, and I need not to write the become, because become is already configured in my ansible.configuration file. So now what it will do, it will go to my web servers IP addresses, and it will install Apache 2. Okay, and the output will be in the yellow color. Why output is in the yellow color? Because the execution will execute the task. Okay, if it is successfully executed, plus there is a state change because their Apache is not installed. Now it is getting installed. So you see the output is in the yellow color. If you want to see that, you can see that what it is doing, all the logs are here. Right. Now, if I go to my worker one, and if I now check, see Apache 2 is installed. Right. Similarly, if I go to worker node 2, so you can see here also Apache 2 is installed. I'm pressing Q to come out. Okay. Now, if I run this command again, I will get a green color output because it will try to install Apache 2 and Apache 2 is already installed. So when the command get executed successfully and there is no state change, then it gives you the green color output. See, green color output because, and you have also noticed that warning is not coming, that Python warning, because we made the changes into our configuration file. We just silent that warning, Python warning. Do you have any question till now?
No, sir, clear.
Clear. Oh, good. Now let us talk about the next thing, which is some more modules. I have a module called service module. Well, let us uninstall this first. To uninstall this, you need to say absent. Absent is to uninstall. And if you want that it is to be uninstalled properly with all its files to be removed, then what you can do, you can use a property called purge. And purge equals to true. By default, it is false. So I will say purge equals to true. Now tell me what will be the color of the output?
Green.
Yellow. Because it is
Yeah.
already installed, because it will execute the script. Script should be executed successfully, plus state is getting changed. Means install to uninstall. So the output color will be yellow. If it is already uninstalled, then it will be, green. So if I run this command again, then it will be green because state is same, right? And no action is taken. So
Okay.
it return green color. All right. Now, next thing is that, right. So next thing is that service module. Let me install these again, this Apache 2 service. Now, next is the service module. So service module in Ansible. So service module deals with the services. Like, for example, you want to stop a service, start a service, right? Restart a service. So then we use this service module. Right? So now, right. So here you can see the name of the service, which is a required parameter, right? That we need to give. And here you can see the state. State is reloaded, restarted, right? And started and stopped. Okay. Second form of the verb it is used. So what I want to do, I want to stop these services. So again, Ansible on web servers, right? On web servers, what I want to do, I want to use a module which is service module. And what argument I want to pass? I want to pass name of the service, which is Apache 2. And I want to give the state equals to stopped. Right. So now my service will be in the stopped mode on both the machine. Now it is already in the started state. It's in the started state, so we need to stop it. So I'm executing, so output is in the yellow color. Now here you can see my service will be in the stop mode. See, inactive or dead. Now if you want to start it again, so you will say start it. Okay. Now the service has started. See, everything is happening through master node. So now if I check again, so you can see now it is in active and running state. So services module is basically used for this purpose. Now another module is the copy module. So now let us see. So there are many modules, right? I'm just discussing some of them which are commonly used. And same way, you just need to check whatever is relevant to your task. So according to that, you need to check that module, and then you need to see its parameters. Okay, what is copy module? Copy the files to the remote location, means from your master machine to agent machines. Okay, so now here we are having a property called content, destination, source and destination we need, and it is alphabetically uh, in order. So if you see SRC, so we need to give our source local path of to the file to copy to the remote server. Okay, so what I'll do here, I will create one file. I'll say touch, and under TMP, and or instead of touch, I will say echo. I am master file. Okay, and I just want to put it under temp, and I want to give it as a master.txt file. Okay, so now I want to copy this file to my worker1, worker2, or maybe in the DB server. So what I will do here, I'll say Ansible, and I want to run it on web servers, comma, DB server. I want to use a module, and that module is copy module, and I want to pass the argument, which is source. Source is my temp slash master.txt file, and destination on the agent machine, wherever you want to copy. I want to copy with the temp directory, and on which directory, temp directory, and then what will be the file name. I want to give the same file name, but if you want, you can change it with the different name. So there is an error. Just a minute. Missing sudo password. Okay, I think in the RHEL I have not applied that. If I say sudo su Raman, and I need to run that command, right? Which I have not executed on DB server. Okay, so I will use this command, and in this case, my username is Raman actually. Okay, I'll say Raman. Okay. And here I will, on my worker1 and worker2, I have user called vbox user, but on this machine I have user called Raman. Okay. So let me save this, right? And yeah, that's it. Yeah. So now, so that file is copied on other machines. See, one was giving the error. It doesn't mean it will terminate the things. But if I say ls and under root, I'm on worker1. So you can see there is a master.txt file. And if I read the content of this file, right, so you can see I'm master file. Right now, I will run this command again because my RHEL did not work. Now this time it should not throw the error. See here, now it executed successfully. And now if I go to my RHEL, And if I say /tmp, so you can see there is a master.txt file. So right. Now next thing is right. So this is the copy command. Now consider in copy command there is one more property which is called the content property. Right? So content property. You want to create a file. So use instead of source, means instead of source directory, right? What we need to do, we need to set some path. We need to set some content into our destination path. So what does it mean? For example, I have executed this. Now I will remove this src and I will write content equals to, in single quote, I'll say uh, hello DevOps. So if I run this, now what it will do, it will go to this particular path. It doesn't matter whether that file exists or not. If it does not exist, it creates that file and write the content, which is hello Ansible. So let us see. If I say cat/tmp/ master.txt file. So you can see hello DevOps is written. Same way, if you go to worker node 2 or this machine, right? And if I say cat/tmp/master.txt, right? So you can see hello DevOps is there. So you can use the copy module. Okay, so we have seen the copy module, service module, APT module. Similar way, for Red Hat based system, you are having a YAML module also. So APT module for the Debian based system like Ubuntu, and Red Hat family based system, we are having something called YAML module, right? Which is basically installing or uninstalling the packages. So let us do that also. On Red Hat machine, for example, I want to install something. Let us see, I have tree command. Okay, tree command is there. Let me uninstall this tree command. So I will say yum or DNF remove tree command. Okay, I'm removing this tree command. So this is a Red Hat based system, not CentOS. So where it is looking for the subscription, my subscription. So I already have a developer subscription for Red Hat. So it is asking, do you want to uninstall? Yes. So now it is uninstalling tree command, and I will install by using yum. Now if I run the tree command, not found. Right? No, no such file or directory. Now what I will do here, I will say Ansible, and on web server, instead of web server, I will say all. All means all the groups, right, which we are having in our inventory file. So it will apply to all. So all, I want to use a module. Actually, all I cannot use because other two systems are not Red Hat based. So I will simply say DB server module. And I want to use a module which is called yum module. And I want to pass the argument name equals to tree and state equals to present. So I want to install this, right? So now what it will do, it will install tree command on my Red Hat based system. Because in the DB server, I have mentioned that it should be the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So now it will target only the DB server, and under DB server we are having RHEL. Okay, let's wait this to execute. Because whenever you are installing or uninstalling, it is doing some checking related to the subscription. If it is sent to us, it won't ask. Means it won't take that much time. So let's wait this to execute. It's taking a little long time. Why it is stuck? Name is tree, state is present. Command is correct. Yeah, so it is executed. It took time, but it got executed, right? So now if I go here on RHEL and if I say tree command, now it is available, right? So this way it is, we are basically, this way we are basically installing with the YAML module. Right. Let me go to my notes. Let me see. Ansible Adhoc Commands. So you are talking about the Ansible Adhoc Commands. Here I have mentioned everything. Ping command we have discussed, shell command we have discussed, apt module we have discussed, copy module we have discussed, and service module also we have discussed, right? So like that, it can be any module. You need to search in this way. Now let us talk about another thing which is called the playbook. Playbook. Playbook is nothing but it is a script file for Ansible. Okay, it is a script file for Ansible. Now this script file is having the extension which is YAML or YAML. Okay, so here we are having some declaration, which is the key value pair, and on the basis of that, infrastructure will be changed. Okay, so whenever we are talking about playbook is a file, right? So playbook, under that playbook, we are having plays. Plays are just like play 1, play 2, multiple plays we can have. What play indicate? It is having the host information. For example, you want to run it on web server, DB server, and it will have the tasks. What task you want to execute it. Okay. Let me just show you practically how we can do that. You can create this file anywhere. So I'm just creating under this directory only. Let me remove this RM one.yaml file. Right. Now I will create a file. I will create a directory, maybe mkdir playbooks. Not required, but I'm just keeping all my playbooks under this directory. Now what I will do, I will just create a file, nano, and one.yaml file. So this will be my first file, or you can say basic. Basic underscore, or you can say 01 underscore basic.yaml file. Okay. Now what I'm doing here, your YAML file starts with the 3 icon, which is optional, but it is, this indicates that your YAML file is, your script is started. So started with 3 icon. Then you need to give the host name. You can put, hyphen name, which is again optional, but it is a good practice. So if I say name, play for web server running commands. Okay. Then you need to provide your host name. So for example, I want to run it on the web servers. If you want to run it on web server and DB servers, comma, DB servers. If you want to run on all, you can put asterisk. Okay. So asterisk means all the entries which we are having in our host file. Okay. But I want to execute it on the web server. You can also use local host. See something you want to test on your local machine, you can use local host. Okay. So now first I'll use web servers. And now next we need to create the tasks. Okay. And under the task, you need to write, or you need to use the modules. For example, I'm giving the name of the module, say so this is your text, okay, name, my command module. Command module is same as your shell module. Okay, now here I will use the command and I'll say echo hello world. Okay, I want that this particular command is to be executed on my web servers. Okay, so or what I can do. Okay, so let us first try with this. Save this. Now Ansible Playbook. Okay, you need to write Ansible Playbook and your playbook name, which is 01 basic. If you want to check whether the syntax and everything is correct, you can mention syntax check. So if it returns nothing, it means the syntax is correct. If it gives some error, it means you need to modify your script to fix that error. So in my case, there is no error. Now, how to execute? Execute is same, just remove this syntax check. Now, what it will do, it will go to the remote servers, which is web servers, and it will run that command echo hello world. Right? Okay. So here it is saying gathering the facts. So play for the web server running commands, and it is first checking that whether these servers are reachable. If these are reachable, then it will executing that task on both the machines. And this is a recap that it was able to connect, plus it was able to connect to these two machines. And there is one change because we are running the echo command, right? And it is nothing is unreachable, nothing is failed, nothing skipped, rescued, or this is for because there were two servers, so it is giving the recap for both the servers. Okay. But where is the output? Hello world. I don't see that output. Now, one way is that you can put it into a file, or what you can do, you can put it here something we call register. So register is basically what it will do. It will take the output of this particular module which we are executing, right? And it will store it into a variable. So variable name you can give anything. For example, I'm giving result. Now, second module I want to use, which is called the debug module. So I'll say name and I'll say print the output of command module. So what I'm doing here, I want to use the debug module. So debug is again Ansible module, which has two properties. So let me just go to the, let me go here. And if I search for the debug module in Ansible, again, this is Ansible core module, means inbuilt module. Now here you can see that it has three parameters. One is message and one is where and verbosity, right? So which is show the information or not. So here we use message. We can use the where also. So what I will do, close this. What I will do, I will go here and I will use message, right? And I'll say print result. Okay. So if you want to, if you use, let's first use where. So I will say print result. Let me save this and let me execute my script again. So now this command is basically getting executed on the web server, right? So that's why it is first connecting, and you can see now the result of where command which I have used. It is showing all this information. So in result variable, it is not only storing the output, but entire metadata like change is true, this command got executed, and so on. But I only need this message, which is std out. So what I'll do here, you can modify this now because now we understand this is running on web server. Instead of that, I will say localhost because otherwise it will connect to those machines and takes time. So for testing purpose, we can use the localhost. Now, if I say std out, so it means I want to see the hello world output only. So now I will save this and say yes. Now what I'll do here, I will execute it. Now it will execute on my local machine because I replaced this with the local host. Right now you can see the output is hello world. Okay. Right. So right. So this way we can, write our very basic, simple YAML script. Do you have any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you understand this concept? Maybe you need to just watch it again and try to write this YAML file by yourself. Or you can go to the, Visual Studio Code, and there also you can write. So either way.
Yeah.
Right. So now, right. So now you can create multiple place also. If I say nano 02 multiple place, right? For example, multiple place dot YAML file. So triple hyphen, then name. What I want to do, I want to Okay, copy or create um, web server .txt file on web servers. Okay, so this is one play. So my hosts are web servers, and my task is that I want to use the copy module. So now to use the copy module, I'll say name using copy module. One way is that you can write copy module something like this, copy module, and like we have used earlier, src, source, not source, we want to create a web server.txt file. So I will say content equals to um, say web server, web server, and destination equals to under temp web servers dot txt file. Okay, so now if I execute this, what it will do, it will use a copy module, put the content web server under my destination this. Okay, let me save this. So what I will do, Ansible and Playbook, Ansible Playbook, and 02 this, right? I will check the syntax once. Syntax hyphen check. Okay, syntax is correct. So I will run this now. So it will create web server.txt file um, on my web servers, and it will have the content whatever I have written with web server. Right? So it is able to connect and change has happened. Now if I go here on my worker one, if I say cat/tmp and web server.txt, so you can see it is having web server. Right? Now I want, this is one way, right? This is the one way. Now other way is that you can write, let me create one more play. So I'll say name, which is play for creating dbserver.txt file on db server. Okay, now I want to execute something on the db server. So I will create host, and this is db servers, db server. And I want to execute the same task. So task is that name column, and I'll say using copy module, right? And here I'll say copy, right? And now instead of writing into the same line, what I will do, I will just write it here. I'll say content equals to something db server. Okay, and destination is /tmp/db server.txt. Similarly, I want to create play number 3. This is play 1. This is play 2. Now I'm creating similar thing for play 3. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this as it is, right? And I will paste it here. So here, play 3. Alignment is very important because in here I'll say local server.txt, and I want to execute it on the local host. using copy module, and I will say local server, and my file name will be the local server.txt. So now let me save this. Now let me execute this. Now 3 plays I have. First for web server, second for DB server, third for local host. So now it is connecting to my DB server first.
So Playbook also known as cookbook also, na?
Cookbook is in the other configuration management tools like Puppet, Chef. We call it Cookbook,
Okay.
but concept is same.
Hmm.
Okay. Now you can see everywhere it get executed successfully. So if I go to my RHEL and under temp, right, if I say cat/tmp and db server.txt, and you can see it is db server. And on my local host also, it will be there. If I say cat/tmp and local server.txt, right? So this time I have written multiple plays. So in single play, you can have multiple tasks, like I have created earlier command module. I have created the, that command module, and then that debug module, right? So you can have multiple tasks also. We'll take one example of multiple tasks. So I will say nano and 03, and I'll say multiple tasks dot YAML file. So now here, what I will do, go here, triple hyphen, and I will create only uh, one play, right? So I'll say name play to demonstrate multiple tasks. Okay. And all these YAML file, I will put it on my repository. You can take it from there. And here I will say that host, where you want to execute this task. For example, I want to do it on the DB server, web server, anywhere. Okay, I will use the local because it will be a bit fast. For demo purpose, it is fine. But when you are actually working on your day-to-day activity in your infrastructure, then you can change this to your server. Now, I want to execute a task. Okay. So, task, what I want to do, I want to create a file. I also want to use the variable, which is basically vars. Okay. Vars means variable. I'm using a variable, say content or data variable. In data variable, I will say hello DevOps. Okay, so I'm just writing hello DevOps. Now I want to use this variable to create a file. So to create a file, I will use a module. Now I'll say first task. So I'll say task 1 to create the file. Okay, so I'm creating a file. So I will use I can use a copy module, right? I'll say copy. Under copy module, what I want to do, under copy module, I have the property which is called content. I want to write the content, which is this data content. So to have this data content, you need to use these two curly braces, and you can say data. Okay, so in this way we can access the value of the data. Okay, that variable. Right. Now my file name, so that is destination. So say under temp, I want to create a file called devops.txt. Okay, I'm running it on my local machine, but as I mentioned, you can have multiple things. Now, what I want to do, earlier what I was doing, I was going to that particular directory and reading that file. So that I want to do now by running this command name task through to read the file. Okay. Now here I want to use a command module, and under command module I will say cat/tmp. I want to read this file, which is devops.txt file. Okay. Now I want to see the content also, so that's why I will use register and I will put it into the output variable. Now, next task 3, name task 3 to print the file content. Okay. So now here I'll say debug module. Under debug module, I will use message. Okay, and in the message I will say um, I'll say content of devops.txt file is output.std out. So I have 3 tasks now. Task 1, which will create the file. Task 2, uh, which will basically read the file. Task 3, which will print the content. Let us see. Now I will say Ansible and Playbook 03 underscore this. So what it will do? There is some error. Content data. Okay. Some error here. I think it is in the single quotes or double quotes. Yeah. So now it is executing on my local machine. Right? See, it got executed. Now I need not to go and check here. You can see task 1, it has done some changes, which is to create the file. Task 2, which is to read the file. Task 3, it has printed the content of my devops.txt file is hello DevOps. Right? Now I will use the same example. I'll say copy 03 to 04. I want that user should be able to enter value at runtime. Okay. So 04 variables dot YAML file. So now if I say nano and 04 variables dot YAML file. Now instead of var, this is the hard-coded value. So I will say vars underscore prompt. Okay. So I want that value should not be hard-coded. Value should be entered at runtime. So I will say name and I will give the name as data only because I'm using data everywhere. And now I will say prompt and what prompt you want. Enter the value of DevOps. Enter the content for DevOps.txt. Now let us see what will happen. So now I will say Ansible Playbook 04 variable stored. Now it will ask the value. I'm entering some content. I'm saying hello Ansible. It is not showing on the screen, but we will see in the result. Consider you want to enter some sensitive content and you want to store it into a file, and you remove that task 3. So what it will do, it will basically, now you can see now hello Ansible. But if you want that values to be printed, so what you can do here, by default it is having a property which is called private. So I will say private and no. Now if I run this, now it will show that if I say hello team. So if you want to keep your content hidden, then you can use the this Ansible where prompts with private equals to false or true, otherwise false. Okay, now you can see the content of my file is hello team. Okay, so I think for today we just discuss up till here. We have discussed so many things, right? So it
Yes,
is
sir.
always a good practice, right, to try this, make your hands dirty, write these things by yourself, execute the commands.
Sure.
So tomorrow we will meet tomorrow then.
Yes, sir. 7:30 or what time?
7:30 is fine, right?
Tomorrow 7:30 is fine. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.